Kate the Heart.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates. As you already inferred from the title of this video, I'm going to be setting up my bullet journal for 2023. I have my bullet journal right here. Well, it's actually already complete. I got it in purple because it's my favorite color, if you can't already tell. I usually get my bullet journal from Notebook Therapy, but I was broke, so I got this one off of Amazon. I'll put the link in the bio. It came with a bunch of sticker sheets which I won't be using, and the cover is I think made of PU leather. This also has an elastic closure as well as a pen holder, which I think will be very useful for me because I carry my pen everywhere. It even has separate pages for your key and your index, and all 200 pages in this journal are 140 GSM, which makes it thick enough to withstand bleeding. Also, there's not just one but 3 bookmarks in this bullet journal, so that makes it a lot easier for me. And with that, let's get on to the setup. For this simple purple setup, I use 2 Sakura Pigma Microns, my pencil and eraser obviously, 3 Tombow Furunoseki brush pens, and 3 Tombow dual brush pens, and washi tape. As every bullet journalist always does, I started off with writing my very long name on the inside cover. It's long even by Sri Lankan standards, that's why I don't have a middle name. I used the hard tip brush pen for this exact reason because the writing comes out a little smaller and allows room for my name. This page I'm doing right now is, in my opinion, an essential in all bullet journals because it makes spread setting a lot easier. This is a grid spacing cheat sheet. I got the idea from Amanda Rach Lee years ago, and basically you ink in the number of dot grids vertically and horizontally and calculate the divisions corresponding to however you want to divide your page in your regular setup. I put the cheat sheet at the beginning every time I set up a new journal, and you'll see me referencing it even in this video. I do mine a bit differently to other bullet journalists, so yeah. To add some pizzazz, I decorated the page with some washi tape that I got from the paper chase at King's Cross Station. It's a really pretty set and it's purple, which is why I bought it. Duh. I like having a yearly overview at the beginning of my journal, and that is a spread I'm doing right now. I attached some washi tape with gold embellishments at the top for a header-like appearance, and then I used my X-Acto knife as well as a pair of scissors to cut it up and sort of make it fit within the page. I used my pencil to sketch out the spacing for 2023 right below the washi tape because if I otherwise don't do it in pencil, I always mess up. I don't like working with pencil because erasing afterwards is very annoying, but it can't be helped, so yeah. I used the darkest shade of purple to outline the digits, and then I colored the digits in with a lighter brush pen, but I didn't shade the 0 because, as you will see later, I had different plans for it. I stuck a bit of washi tape on top of the 0 and I used my X-Acto knife to cut away the excess. I don't know, it just adds some kind of a flair to the header and I kind of like it. Also, cutting out circles using an X-Acto knife is really hard. This was annoying to do. I also couldn't cut a perfect circle, but it doesn't matter much because it's not very visible. After I cut it out around perfectly, I gently peeled off the excess and now I have a little extra flair on my header. This was when I moved on to drawing the calendar boxes on the spread. I like seeing the whole year in one single glance, and I decided to use 2 shades of purple for the boxes. I didn't use a ruler because I couldn't be bothered, and also the boxes are only 7 dot grids wide anyway. I used the brush side of the pen to shade inside some of the boxes since I didn't want the spread to be too overwhelming and full of color. I only colored 50% of the calendar boxes in, and I left the rest blank for some visual interest and simultaneous peace of mind. Okay, this was where all the cramping started. I didn't record everything because it was boring, but every bullet journalist knows that this process is the most painful part of setting up a bullet journal. It's also nerve-wracking because it's very easy to make mistakes, but I didn't want to use my pencil, so I just went for it. I then wrote the months on top of the corresponding boxes, and this is where I messed up. Because as you will see, that is not September.
I don't know why my mind registered it as September, but I guess this is what happens when you don't write things chronologically. A few years back, I would have cut out another page and stuck it on top, but ain't nobody got the time for that, so now correction tape it was. It's not like anyone cares anyway. Finally, I added some gold embellishments and things to make it seem as if the 2023 was hanging down, and the first spread was done. On to the next spread, I decided to do my future log. I use this to keep track of any events that I know will come up in the future, but I can't write it down because I haven't done the monthly spread for that month yet, if that makes sense. This is useful for referring back to after completing my monthly spread so that I can migrate the event to the corresponding month. I don't use 4 pages like I used to anymore because I'm in university and I maintain a separate future log to keep track of my future assignments. This one is for personal use, but if you know me in real life, then you know that I'm a social recluse who never goes out for anything. So this spread is actually something to keep track of birthdays. I also don't have as many close friends, so I don't need that big of a spread, which is why I squeezed all 12 months into 2 pages. I was sick of writing tiny numbers, so I resorted to using a set of rubber calendar stamps. As you can see, I'm not very good at using them, and I don't quite like using them because they're messy and also very hard to get right. Sometimes there's too much ink and smudges everywhere, and at other times there's no ink at all, so I have to go over them later and ink in the missing numbers. It's still much better than cramping though, and I'm trying to care less about aesthetic and more about functionality this time, so yeah. I don't quite like this spread. I made a spacing error with the division lines because I'm an idiot. I tried going over that line with correction tape, but since it's a large area, I hated how that one looked too. And then I fucked everything up when I tried to fix what I thought would fix my first mishap. I used my brush pen to cover up those lines and go over the calendars, except I used a dark color to go over something I did in black. I don't know what I was thinking, but maybe it was because I was camera shy or whatever, but clearly it did not look good. And then I made it even worse by trying to shade it with some gradient effect, but I don't know, it's just not giving. And then to make things worse, the ink from the stamp started smudging in and out because I was using too much pressure with the markers, so it got really messed up. Always use a pencil, I guess. I even used washi tape to cover up the glint from the marker on the correction tape, but it didn't do it any favors, so yay me, my future log looks like a bag of purple crap spilled on it, and if you think it can't possibly get any worse, you're in for a surprise because I lettered in the months in a giant font that's so loud I can still hear it when I move 20 miles away. I used more washi tape, and then I wrote future log at the bottom as if the spread wasn't already crowded enough. And then I inked in the birthday boxes, which obviously look very, very hideous. I want to complain, but I'm not because I need to take accountability for my frequent stupidity. Maybe that should be my mantra for next year. Anyway, I might do a new spread over this because I really don't like how this looks. The next thing I decided to do was a savings tracker. I played around with the header because I like hand lettering, but now even I can see that I spend too much time on the embellishments and things. I like playing around with different fonts and adding embellishments that consist of stars and sparkles and shit. I want to buy myself a new phone at the end of the year, so I thought this would be a great way for me to track my savings goals and have a visual representation of what I want them to look like. You can even see me referencing my grid spacing cheat sheet, and boy did it come in handy because I didn't mess up this spread. Yay! Okay, so what I did was write down the names of the months, January down and December up because it's sort of like filling up a container for me. Then I put in 4 columns, 1 column for each thing that I want to save up for, and then I inserted 12 rows, 1 for each month. What I'm basically going to do is calculate exactly how much I need to have in my accounts at the end of the year for each savings goal and then divide that sum by 12. Whenever I reach the designated savings goal for each month, I will color in the box to denote that I have saved up exactly that much. This is not only a way for me to track my savings, but also a means of holding myself accountable every month so that I don't spend my money on unnecessary shit like Disney pins. I have way too many and I don't even need them. So for me, I have my new phone, a flight ticket, emergency savings, and medical stuff. Except the emergency thing doesn't look like anything at all. I tried to draw a pot of gold, but I got distracted, so it looks like my sister's bowl of rice instead. My next spread is really simple. It's basically a list of things that I intend to do every morning and evening as part of a morning and nighttime routine. I have been awful at keeping and maintaining these habits in particular because I'm not very big on self-care. So this is for listing habits that I want to incorporate into my daily routine, such as yoga and flossing and putting on my acne lotion because I never put on my acne lotion and then I wonder why my face looks like a pot of red porridge. Also sorry for my head bursting in there. I doodled in a sun to denote morning and a moon to denote nighttime, and I'm into. You already got that. Alright, last spread, and thank dog because I need a glass of water. Or 2. Or 10. Again, basic header stuff, hand lettering, washi tape for extra flair. You know the drill by now. I like to be extra. This is a when did I last spread to keep track of things I don't do on a daily or monthly basis per se, but still need to do a few times a year. They're not as important as on the daily, like brushing your teeth, for example, but more so like sporadic but important tasks nevertheless. For example, some of the tasks that I'm keeping track of here are cleaning my loofah, changing my toothbrush head, trimming my hair, cleaning my jewelry, etc., etc. I doodled in something to symbolize a task on the first column, and then in their corresponding rows, if I do that task, I will write down the date on which I did that specific task. This is so that when I'm going through my journal and see that it's been 2 months since I changed my toothbrush head, I can immediately go change it. It's also for motivating me to do them. On a side note, I don't really like using my ruler with my fine liners because the Sakura Pigma microns are a little fragile, so it kinda frays and damages the tip, which I don't like. A lot of these are cleaning tasks and the rest of them are sort of like self-maintenance, self-care kind of tasks that I don't like to do often, like bleaching my mustache. Yes, I have a mustache. And no, I'm not proud of it. Lastly, I cut out a crescent moon out of washi tape and I stuck it there. I really like celestial objects, in case you haven't already guessed, but now we're ready for the final flip through.
I do like how this setup turned out, and it's a lot less complex than the spreads I used to do, but it's still very functional. If you'd like to see more content like this, then please like, subscribe, all of that jazz. Thank you so much for watching if you made it to the end, and you'll see me next time. Bye!